sir, you must have faced a lot of obstacles in this journey. So, what were they and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so initially, if we ask, like when we started the career, like in the professional world, so there's a lot of challenges in terms of getting an exposure, getting an experience. So when to start with an as a medical representative, so initially when you have to get into the job, so those struggles were there. The learning curve was there. So I think over a period of time, I was fortunate enough to have a good mentors, guide, and with whom I have worked. Especially if I talk about like in my previous organizations, companies like Johnson and Johnson Medical and Dr. Reddy's and all, there was a good learning houses. So they basically teach you a lot, and I think it was an initially hard work in terms of a lot of travel and. It takes a lot of time to cover initially, like especially 2 3 years after the college life, it takes time to get stabilized, get to understand how the things go on in the market. Sometimes you are confused also whether you have to continue with the further studies or you have to continue with the job. And as I belong to a place like JNK and all, there's a lot of family pressure. Oh, why don't you come back to home and all, everything is fine happening, and you have to choose the different path. And a couple of friends and colleagues that time, they were insisting, why don't you go for further studies or you get into the management or maybe B farm or sorry the M farm or go for MBA sort of things. So I think these were the hurdles were there, and finally after spending a lot of time in with pharmaceutical industry, I've learned the nuances, what are the things required to be, and then we have to choose the path. Either we need to go into the sales side, need to go into the production side, or need to get into the marketing side. One thing actually I tell so initially when we were in the college days, so we had a training. I had a training with HMR, that's a Hex Marion Resolvet, which is close to Pune. So that was a good time where 4 weeks industrial training, lot of learnings were there. So what are things are happening in the real world. So I suggest and urge, I don't know at this moment in curriculum, these trainings are a part of there or not. So whenever you're going for these trainings, try to spend a lot of time there. Try to ask a couple of questions to them. So that will definitely help you to learn more, can help you to correlate with the real world, what is going to happen. And then you can decide whether you want to further get into production side, you want to get into the sales side, or get further into, education side.
With respect to current market requirements, in which area students should upgrade themselves?
So I feel whenever I used to as I mentioned, I worked as in the capacity of director sales and head sales and marketing for one of the leading multinational company. So whenever we used to recruit people, we always used to look for their communication skills, their presentation, how they present, how they approach, and one should not look for the short-term goals. Should have an a long and the short-term, both the things should be aligned so that for example, if you're planning to get into the sales side, you should give it time. Then you should think of spending maybe 3 years, 4 years, and then if you want to get into the management, you want to do an MBA and all these things. So you should have a balanced approach, not in a hurry and not in a rush. When I see the initially people come out from the college, there's a lot of stress. Oh, what will happen? And all. They need to give time. They need to understand. They need to give time. So I think that's the thing. And we have a lot of competition at this moment in India. So a lot of people like in pharmaceutical or maybe into medical device, there are two segments. If I see because initially the entry may be through pharmaceutical, and then you can go to the medical devices, and this is the different things we can follow. And my advice is like, let's keep on investing time on yourself. Try to upgrade your skills in terms of the presentation, in terms of IT skills. These really helps a lot.